It is a creature of impossible geometry. 10 legs, a span wider than a compact car, a lifespan stretching toward 100 years. In the cold, crushing depths of the North Pacific, the Japanese spider crab reigns as the largest arthropod on Earth. But on the surface, in the quiet fishing town of Hedda, this titan is vanishing. Between 2018 and 2023, local catches collapsed by 75%. Warming currents have pushed the crabs deeper. Overfishing thinned the breeding stock, and a generation of fishermen watched their heritage slip into the trench. But a coalition of scientists and locals refused to surrender. They launched a project critics dismissed as fantasy: to breed a deep-sea giant in captivity and return it to the wild. To understand the stakes, you must stand on the wooden docks of Hedda in May. It looks like a festival, but it is a rescue mission. For 50 years, locals have gathered here for a ritual known as the tagging. Fishermen, teachers, and schoolchildren stand over crates holding the taka-ashigani, the tall legs crab. They thread a thin plastic ID tag through the shell, a message in a bottle sent into the deep. Every tag carries a unique number, a hope that if this crab is caught again, we will learn where it traveled.
My father caught them. His father caught them. Now, some years my nets come up empty. The crabs go deeper. They go further. We follow, but the ocean is changing faster than we can adapt.
The data confirms his fear. Only 2 out of every 100 tagged crabs are ever recovered. And in recent seasons, none from Hedda's own waters have returned. The town realized that protecting adults was no longer enough. To save the species, they had to control the beginning. Inland, away from the salt air, scientists at the Shizuoka Prefectural Research Institute faced a biological paradox. The adult spider crab is an armored tank, but its larva? Microscopic dust, fragile as spun glass. For decades, this was the barrier. Labs could hatch the eggs. They could not keep the infants alive. The life cycle is a gauntlet. It begins as a zoea, a drifting speck with a translucent shell. The zoea must molt repeatedly to become a megalopa, a transitional form between larva and crab. Then comes the final transformation into a juvenile. This drifting phase takes up to 70 days. The variables are punishing. Water temperature must remain in a narrow window between 11 and 18 degrees Celsius. Too cold, and growth halts. Too warm, and cellular stress proves fatal. But the true killer waited at the moment of metamorphosis. When a megalopa transforms into a crab, it sheds its entire exoskeleton. The body becomes entirely soft, entirely vulnerable. In that window, a single bacterium, an unclean surface, or a chemical imbalance means death. For years, the survival rate held at 0. The turn of the millennium brought desperation, and with desperation came innovation. Researchers at Shizuoka, led by marine biologists, realized that standard seawater was teeming with invisible threats. They switched to deep ocean water, pumped from over 300 meters down. Cold, stable, nearly sterile. They paired this with a carefully controlled addition, trace antibiotics, administered only during the critical molt. The approach drew scrutiny. Antibiotics in marine culture remain controversial. But for the spider crab, it was the difference between extinction and survival. It worked. According to the Institute's 2019 report, survival rates climbed from 0 to nearly 50%. The lock had been picked. By 2023, the Osaka Kaiyukan Aquarium brought the science to the public. For the first time, visitors watched the entire process unfold. They saw a speck of plankton grow into a fingernail-sized gladiator. They proved survival was possible. But a laboratory is controlled. The ocean is chaos. Suruga Bay is a geological anomaly. Just meters from the harbor, the floor collapses into the Suruga Trough, plunging over 2,500 meters into perpetual darkness. This is the deepest bay in Japan. And this is where the juvenile crabs must find a way to survive. Down here, the spider crab is not the apex predator. That role belongs to the giant Pacific octopus. Armed with a crushing beak and venom that paralyzes muscle, the octopus is a specialist crab hunter. The young crabs cannot win a fight, so they disappear. They practice decorating, attaching sponges, algae, hydroids, and debris to specialized hairs on their shells. They become living camouflage, invisible to the predators scanning the gloom. And if camouflage fails, they possess a final defense: autotomy, the ability to sever their own leg at a predetermined fracture plane. A limb sacrificed to save a life. It will regenerate. The crab will not get a second chance. The science is advancing. The biology is mapped. But the fate of the Japanese spider crab rests with the people who share its waters. The town of Heda enforces a strict seasonal ban. From mid-May through September, peak breeding season, the fishing nets stay dry. It is an economic sacrifice made for a future reward.
Every crab we release carries data. Every tag that returns teaches us something. Last year, for the first time in nearly a decade, 3 tagged crabs were recovered in Heda's own waters. They came back. That means the population is still here, still fighting.
When the children of Heda release those tagged crabs, they are not performing a ceremony. They are restocking the deep. They are learning firsthand that the line between a thriving ocean and a silent bay is measured in degrees, in seasons, in choices. The giants of Heda are ancient, resilient, adapted to a world of pressure and shadow that humans will never fully understand. But they are not invincible. It took 50 years of failure to learn how to give them a chance. Now the deep is watching, and so are we.